Pacific Rim is actually Scott Pilgrim's precious little life. Scott Pilgrim and Pacific Rim seem like an unlikely comparison of movies, but Redditor/u/pjipso has a fun take on how they might exist in the same realm. By placing Pacific Rim's characters, plot, and fight sequences over the Scott Pilgrim film, they deduce that Pacific Rim is nothing more than an action-packed, mecha-filled take on Scott Pilgrim's precious little life. Raleigh and his blue-haired, Asian female counterpart represent Scott Pilgrim and his fake high school girlfriend Chau. Just as Raleigh and his bot-mate pilot the Jaeger, Scott and Knives conquer arcade games in unison. Ramona's League of Seven Evil Exes coincide with the 7 kaiju that emerge from the depths of the ocean. Scott also takes down Gideon with a super powerful glowing sword just like Gypsy Danger's secret weapon. Kaiju are meant to lead the human race down a path of self-destruction,
forcing the human race into a desperate fight or flight frenzy. The kaiju are merely catalysts for the human race's own self-destruction. Redditor/u/Kafka gives a bit of insight on the kaiju's elaborate plan to bring down humanity from the inside out. The human race has become too powerful and too bloodthirsty way too quickly. Their ability to kill has become almighty as well as outrageous. After the eradication of the kaiju, humanity would descend into chaos as nations grab each other's land and resources to recover from the catastrophe. This would cause the downfall of the world and its people, draining its remaining resources and wiping out civilization with mass causalities caused by their own hands.
Hannibal Chau drifted with a kaiju and destroyed the Jaeger program.
Kaiju aimed directly for the Jaegers' weaknesses, but how exactly did they know their weak spots? How did they even know the pilots existed in the first place? Redditor/u/Patch Clark sums it up with one name: Hannibal Chau. Chau's involvement with the black market led him to drifting with the kaiju, be it out of curiosity or malicious intent. His drift would give the kaiju the insight they needed to figure out everything they know about the engineering of the Jaegers, leading to the destruction of Gypsy Danger and of the Jaeger program in its entirety.
Jaegers are used against each other in larger-than-life warfare.
An entire decade has passed between Pacific Rim and Pacific Rim Uprising, which has left many wondering what the Jaegers are being used for without kaiju rampaging across the Bay Area. According to Blair Marnell from Nerdist, humans have come up with a fun way to use the Jaegers to fight each other. Whether they are used for extracurricular bot battles or a form of intense, highly advanced warfare is still up for speculation, but according to this fan theory, they are definitely used for fighting against each other, as opposed to an alien threat.
Lovecraft and Cthulu Mythos was incorporated into the film.
Guillermo del Toro's infatuation for H. Lovecraft bled into Pacific Rim at full force, at least that's what Redditor/u/Puffs plus Armada thinks. Bringing Lovecraft's iconic mythos of Cthulhu and friends over to the San Francisco destroying kaiju flick, this Redditor insists the cult of Cthulhu is alive and well within the world, and they have been using summoning rituals to bring the kaiju to Earth. Their theory also explains why the government has been so disinterested in the Jaeger program. Even though it seems to be humanity's last hope, they are secretly part of the cult.
Pacific Rim is an allegory for climate change.
Redditor/u/Core1212 has tied together the allegory surrounding Pacific Rim.
The monstrous beasts that plague the earth, the kaiju, are nothing more than a metaphor for climate change, ravaging the planet without remorse and filling its oceans and land with toxic chemicals. When Newt explains that humanity terraformed the planet to be just the right environment for the kaiju to roam, he means that we basically polluted it and withered it down to the point of no return. The new composition of the Earth's atmosphere has made a perfect habitat for the alien race, which comes barreling through the coastal regions much like the rising water levels caused by global warming. In the end, nuclear power saves the day. Gypsy Danger, the only Jaeger that runs on nuclear energy, is the heroic bot to take down the kaiju.
Raleigh and Mako had no idea the sword existed.
Pacific Rim had a huge plot hole, the sword that cuts straight through kaiju like nobody's business. If humans had the sword all along, why didn't they just use it in the first place and start slicing up kaiju from the beginning? Redditor/u/Uliforce thinks they know why the sword wasn't used in the first place. Nobody had any idea it even existed. This is the second Gypsy Danger. It had added upgrades that remained a secret to Raleigh. Mako had never piloted Gypsy before, so she was flat clueless to the awesome weaponry it contained. Together, they figured out they had a beastly sword, and they never used it again because they were lucky it even worked in the first place.
Kaiju were meant to die on Earth, not to physically destroy it.
Fighting the kaiju is a double-edged sword. Going to war with them merely pushes back humanity's inevitable fate of being completely massacred, and killing them releases a deadly toxin, Kaiju Blue. Redditor/u/Furlev devised the theory of the kaiju's true purpose. It isn't to eradicate humanity by fighting, it's to die on Earth, luring humanity into slaying them in the ocean. They intend to release their poisonous blood straight into the water supply, viciously wiping out the planet via vile pollution.
Newt is kind of the father of the baby kaiju.
The kaiju Atachi becomes impregnated and gives birth to a vile and furious baby kaiju. As a mass-produced and possibly completely genetically engineered species, it's kind of weird that a kaiju would give physical birth. A fan theory posed by Redditor/u/Natchington states that Newt is actually the father. Well, kind of. After Newt's drifting with the kaiju, the engineers saw there was substantial benefit to giving live birth and gave Atachi the ability to reproduce. Since kaiju are all clones, the live birthing process would give them an upper evolutionary insurance to grow as a diverse species.
Kaiju are immune to high-speed weaponry.
High-speed weaponry won't work against the kaiju. Nukes, lasers, missiles, they are all totally useless methods of defense against these alien monsters. One Redditor delves into why the sword was the only weapon that worked with such sufficiency, speculating that the kaiju simply weren't expecting the Jaegers to dish out melee combat. As the kaiju grew smarter, they genetically engineered themselves to be resistant against anything that moves over a certain velocity. Their resistance to fast-moving weaponry also explains why the government hasn't gone ahead and set up a range of high-powered firearms around the breach. The Cloverfield monster is the last remaining kaiju from the first wave.
Jaegers will be repurposed as construction robots.
Jaegers will be repurposed as construction robots. Kaiju can turn parts of their genetic makeup on and off. Kaiju are sentient beings. The Kaiju are sentient beings. The breach will open once again. The breach will open once again.
Hey guys, thank you so much for the support and likes and comments down below, and also thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to see you in the next video. Then take care. Bye.